Do
It's
it.
Alex Smith and the Alex Smith Chiefs. Actually, you're worse than the Alex Smith led Chiefs, but that's fine.
Oh boy, we
I
got
don't know.
things overlapping.
Oh yeah, sorry. Here, it's all right.
Scotty, you messed up the graphics.
No, I didn't.
No, we'll move it.
I
It's
did
fine.
not. This is not on me.
It's fine. That's our cyber store.
This is on the other guy.
It's our cyber store. Guys, go check out.
So Cowboys Seahawks.
All right, here we go. Let's start out the week
Basically,
here.
this is the game that determines if Seattle is a legit team or not.
Well, they won't be. Seattle Seahawks at Dallas here. Dallas right now currently a favorite of -9 at home, and total set at 47.5. So I look at this, and the Cowboys have been playing like what are the trends? Even like they went against it. The Thanksgiving trend was superseded by the fact that the Cowboys play very, very good against bad teams at home. And are we sure the Seahawks are a good team? Or like where are we putting the Seahawks at this point? I mean, I think they're middle of the road, but again, this spread is 9, and knowing that Dallas takes care of business here, if against bad teams, if they cover this spread, we're probably saying that the Seahawks are probably not one of the top echelon teams.
Well, Chris, we've already discussed that there's only 4 teams that matter in the NFC.
Sure.
And the Seahawks are not included in there, and they've not been playing great, obviously. After kind of a good start, I believe they were 5-2, now 6-5, losers of 3 of 4, including a blowout loss to the Ravens, a loss at the Rams, and a blowout loss on Thanksgiving against the Niners. Their one win, a 3-point win at home against the Commanders. And now you're going to Cowboys home. Cowboys have been absolutely dominant at home this year, like to a wild degree. I
got a stat for you.
Yeah, go.
Dallas has won 13 straight home games and is averaging 41 points at AT&T Stadium this season.
It's stupid. So
it's crazy.
I think I have this. I have this as a bet in the week and a teaser, but I would take Dallas -9. I mean, the Seahawks are beat up. Even guys that are playing at wide receiver, it seems like DK's beat up. I think Lockett's a little beat up. Like everyone just seems beat up. Geno's kind of come back to earth a little bit. They haven't looked good. All of a sudden, they looked 5-2. You're like, they're at least a playoff team, though. Now it's 6-5. I mean, this is a wildly important game for the Seahawks, but I think it's an important game for the Cowboys too because they have Philly in that division. If the Cowboys don't want to have to be on the road for all the playoffs, they basically have to win out.
Can you imagine? And that I mean, considering how good they've been at home, you need to have that home field advantage.
You want that home advantage. You need to win out. You have Philly the week after this, but you have 10 days to prepare for that one. So it's not a look ahead spot. You've had longer to prepare for this game. Well, no, they both came off of Thursday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Last week. So both have a week to prepare, but it just seems like these teams are trending in very different directions. I think the Cowboys win big again on Thursday night tomorrow against the Seattle team that's kind of reeling and moves to 6-6 probably after this. And all of a sudden that playoff, I don't know who is going to make the playoffs in the NFC outside of those 4 teams. Like you're going to have whoever wants the NFC South and no one's above 500 there. You're going to the Vikings just lost to the Bears, but they're still 6-6. The Packers are 5-6 and trending up, but they are going to lose to my Chiefs this week. Are the Rams making a run? They're 5-6. Like, I don't know. I don't know who's going to make those last two, the last 2 slots in the NFC. Really, there were really 3 slots outside of those 4. I have no idea who's going to make it, but those teams are all going to be one and done.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if the NFC divisional round wasn't Eagles, Cowboys, Niners, and Lions. Well, although the Lions have not played great football recently. So they're slowly all of a sudden fading off a little bit to me too.
Yeah. I think Seahawks are great at playing close to their ceiling, but K-State legend Tyler Lockett is not enough to carry the Seahawks here. Boys need to win every game and every point left to pick up. It's going to be a tough uphill battle. Also, by the way, Seahawks haven't really been super great on the road. Lost 3 straight on the road, scoring 29 total points. So Dallas's margin of victory at home, 20, 35, 23, 32, and 35. Those are some damn good margins of victory when Dallas is playing against some of these bad teams and just at home in general. So if I had to lean on this one, I would probably take
side note.
-9. Yep.
Yeah. Little side note, both of these teams played last Thursday, so they do have a full week of practice, which you normally don't see for these Thursday night games.
Yeah, so hopefully it's played a little better. Obviously, Dallas has the advantage. They've stayed at home throughout all of this. They're at home next week again, so they're at home for a while here. I just think there's a lot of things that point to Dallas manhandling the Seattle team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either going to be like a 20-plus point game or a 3-point game. There will be no in between.
And if I would lean more towards the 20 point.
Agreed.
I teased. I saw an 8.5 on FanDuel, so I teased down Cowboys to 2.5. So that's in one of my bets of the week. Is I have Cowboys -2.5 and a teaser with oh my goodness, who was my other team there?
Yeah, I don't remember who you teased up.
I teased somebody up. It was a +8. Oh, it was Titans.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Titans up to +8 against the Colts at home.
Yep.
Because I feel like that game's gonna be a one-score
Too
game.
close.
Either way.
Here's a fun prop. Who has more points, Deron Bland or Geno Smith?
I'll take Geno on that one, but not.
What was the thing, Rec? You threw out something in our Discord this week, right? Invisible stats. It was Bland and who?
I put a couple of things back up. I gotta see exactly which one.
It was like blind stats, and then
Anyways, yeah, this will be an interesting one. By the way, primetime unders. You might want to maybe consider that because primetime unders are still hitting at an insane clip. I think I saw something that was like
that makes sense.
The last what is it? Thursday and Monday night games at least, or maybe it was Sunday. They had a stat going back the last 35 games on Thursday and Monday night are like 33 or 32 and 3 or something in unders or something stupid. It's crazy. Primetime unders. What Cowboys are going to put up? Their defense is going to hold Seattle. I could see this going under.
This feels like a 34-13. So if you can get it at 47.5, you're golden.
You're golden. Speaking of the Rams and the Browns, we have that game coming up here. Browns visiting the Rams. Los Angeles is 3.5 point favorites at home, and they total kind of a lower number here, 39.5 for this.
That's kind of average for the year.
So this game is kind of, it's an interesting one. I'll probably keep tabs on it, but I don't know what to ever think of the Rams right now. Like the Rams are kind of in a weird spot where, Matt Stafford is kind of slinging it around and they have some weapons, but then on the other side, you have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I think is going to be starting for this one, right, Scotty?
He's out. ETR is out. He's
it's going to be Flacco.
Start Flacco.
So Flacco, which that's not
Flacco.
That's not going to be pretty. What I don't know what is this line changed based off of that? Because honestly,
I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson, they always assumed was going to be out due to the dirty defense he played last week.
So it was baked in. So yeah, -3.5. All right, so makes sense. But I mean, if I had a side on this one, I mean, Los Angeles Rams. I mean, you're kind of for having a team that can kind of sling it around. I'm worried about the Browns defense a little bit. Maybe I lean a little bit more towards like Los Angeles Rams money line isn't terrible. It's not ideal, but it's not terrible.
I'd still lean.
But
everything says bet the Rams, which is why I would probably bet the Browns.
I mean, I'd still go Rams. I'd go with the quarterback that's played decent football over the last 5 years.
No one's betting on a team led by Joe Flacco right now. Also, Myles Garrett, his shoulder is
he can't
ruined. I think he'll play, but like he's not near 100%. I mean, I watched Garrett Bowles block him, so that's clear evidence that like you're not 100%.
Amari Cooper got knocked around his rib injury, so he's not 100%.
Such a dirty team in Denver.
Very, very dirty team.
Dude, gotta win games.
And that's without Kareem Jackson.
Kareem, by the way, is meeting with Goodell. I don't know what he's trying to gain from that. Like, I don't know what happens through that, but he's apparently meeting with Goodell.
He said he wants clarification.
Well, it's not going to change.
Stop leading with your helmet, bro. I mean, all right. End of meeting. Thanks for the 2 minutes. Anyway, this game, we're only previewing 6. This one is just the Rams are both teams obviously in the playoff mix. Both teams, it's an important game for both. Hammer
the under. Hammer the under in this game. The Browns might score 10 points. Rams probably won't score 30 on the Browns defense. Yeah, go for the under in this game.
If Garrett was fully healthy, I'd love the under because the Rams don't protect Stafford well, and he gets hit around a lot, especially against a good pass rush. I just wonder if that pass rush is up to snuff. That's my one concern.
The Browns do have a good interior D-line. Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle.
He's fine.
Yeah, hammer the under.
Yeah, I don't love any side really on this one, so I don't have this as any of my best bets of the week, but I don't know. If I had a lean, I'd probably lean Rams a little bit, maybe on that money line, but I don't love it. I don't. It's just not a game that I particularly feel like betting on this week. All right, let's move on. Interesting one here for playoff implications for sure for both these teams.
Imagine saying that 3 months ago.
Yeah, because they're both stacked on top of each other here at the moment. And Broncos on a 5-game winning streak. Texans look like they've been kind of coming back down to earth. CJ's been kind of a little bit. She's starting to make some mistakes here and there, and starting to be that not as historic as what he's been doing in the first part of the season. Still very, very good, and still Texans at home are going to be a very, very strong team. This line, Houston -3.5 at home. Total set to 47.5 on this one. And yeah, Scotty, this is one of my best bets of the week. I think, and not by much, right? I picked the Broncos +3.5 in this one. If this was 3, I wouldn't be on it, probably. The fact that I'm getting the extra hook here for the Broncos is kind of why I like it. Denver, they've been playing. I mean, the fact that they've been playing as well as they have been, given the circumstances of losing Kareem Jackson, who has been suspended, but they still found another player to come in and make dirty hits, I guess. So again, I think this team has improved. They haven't been turning over the ball. Houston's defense, 24th in yards per play and 28th in yards per pass. I just think that the Broncos are going to manage this game and keep it closer than what. I mean, Texans have kind of been in weird close games already. They've been letting teams back in, or they've been kind of playing catch up or here and there with some of these games. So I have a feeling this is going to be a super close game. If you're going to give me 3.5, I'll take the 3.5. I think the Broncos could potentially win this outright, but my best bet of the week, 3.5 plus 3.5 for Denver against the Texans.
Yeah, my initial thought was like a lean towards Denver at 3.5, just because this will probably be a tight, game in my opinion. I know, I listened to something, and I think Chris maybe you listened to too, that like bettors loved Houston at -3. It's interesting that you say that CJ Stroud's coming off, like he's falling off a little bit, because in his last 4 games he's thrown for over 300 yards in each of them. 304, 336, 356, and 470.
Well, that's
in his last 4 games.
That's a testament to how crazy he was in the beginning of the season with not turning over the ball. Well, with not turning over the ball.
The turnovers. You remove the one game against Arizona, and his other 3 he's turned over one time. No picks against Jacksonville. No picks against Tampa. He had 1 against City. He played bad against Arizona in a game he probably wasn't mature enough to handle and overlooked a little bit. Still threw for 336 yards on a 9.1 yards per attempt. He's thrown for more yards in his last 4 games than Russell Wilson's probably ever thrown for this season in any game, for sure. Actually, I know that for a fact. But I'm conflicted in this one. You're right. If the Broncos do their formula and win the turnover battle somehow, kind of do their thing, I think CJ Stroud might be different though. And if the Texans are able to get up early, I think the Broncos are in trouble. You talked about the Texans' weakness on defense being their pass defense. Well, that's perfect. That's perfect when you're playing the Broncos, because you don't need a good pass defense against the Broncos. I'm kind of torn on this game at 3.5. I don't have a side in this one. My initial gut was Broncos. Now I'm maybe leaning at 3. I probably lean Houston at 3.5. I don't really have a side. But a wildly important playoff game.
Yeah,
playoff implications for the AFC, no doubt. Both teams 6-5. Huge game for both these teams, as far as playoffs go. So maybe the single most important game as far as playoff implications and making the playoffs, at least in the NFL this week. I didn't have that on my radar.
I didn't have that on my bingo card. Starting on week 6. Also, just another thing that's going to maybe keep this, or another testament to keeping this close. I talked about how Houston plays close ones, but they've won by more than 3 just once in their last 5. And that came against the Arizona team. So they just been playing close games. And I think this one's going to be right there in the mix with that as well. CJ Stroud is proof Ryan Day is not a good coach. Let's keep close. Denver's going to win by 2 somehow. Don't agree with Arkansas storming the court just now. Didn't know that was happening, but
speaking of Arkansas, did you see who they hired for football?
I did not.
They brought back the neck brace.
What?
They brought back the neck brace. Bobby Petrino.
No way. Really?
Petrino is back.
As not as head coach.
No, offensive coordinator, but still.
Okay. Yeah, that's still weird, but all right.
The human neck brace is here.
Arkansas fans don't give it. Just win. Just win. That's all Arkansas cares about.
What's up,
I don't
Evil?
care if you're a decent human being or not. Just win football games.
We don't fire for adultery at Arkansas.
If you listen closely,
make them OC. I'm so happy about my Vikings loss.
If you listen closely,
6-11.
you can hear Aggies cheering in the distance.
Evil. Happy the Vikings lost. 6-11. Here we come. I wore my curse jersey.
I think all Vikings jerseys, by definition, are cursed jerseys.
Yeah. Like what? So did you, oh, that's another little random nugget I saw. Blair Walsh is apparently a real estate agent now.
Kicker?
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
Get the guy that shanked the cake for the Vikings in the playoffs against the Seahawks.
I do remember that one, but that was a long field goal. That was like a 20-something yarder.
I bought the jersey this year, and every time I wear it, I realized they lost. Bobby Petrino is forever hated
Which
in
jersey
Atlanta
is
for
it?
how he left the Falcons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. All right, let's move on. We got Lions and Saints. Scotty, this is one of your best bets of the week. We're currently, I'll intro this one, but Coke Yellow for Scotty.
Coke Yellow real quick.
Lions visiting the Saints. Spread here. Detroit are 4-point favorites in this game at home. Total set to 46. So, yeah, Derek Carr hosting a Lions team who have been a little bit flat as of late, especially on that Thanksgiving Day where everyone's like, what the hell happened there? Now, like, Detroit's a good team. We have kind of had them in the top 4 of the NFC pretty consistently over the course of the season. That Thanksgiving loss was kind of irked me a little bit, though. It was like, how does that happen? But here's the thing: the Lions face a team. It feels like they could bounce back. I know what side Scotty's on here, but I'm just going to give you kind of the landscape. Like, the Saints can't score touchdowns. Like, that's the thing with the Saints. The Lions will have ability to slow things down for Derek Carr. And I think one of the bigger things here is star corner Marshawn Lattimore remains out. I think he's a big aspect of how they play defense and how they shut teams down. And so what you're missing Marshawn Lattimore. You're missing defensive end Cam Jordan with an ankle injury. You're missing a lot of players on defense here that I just feel like that's a lot. But yeah, at this point, I'm kind of just pumping the brakes on the Lions for a minute. I'm kind of just leaving them alone. If I had a lean, maybe I would probably go. I was looking at the total for a minute, and I can't even trust that on this game. Is Carr a good quarterback? The question? No, that's not a question. He's not a good quarterback. That's just the answer.
He wasn't good last year with Vegas. When did you think he was going to be good with Pete Carmichael?
He's not good. And the red zone, like, he loves just failing in the red zone every single game, whether that's an interception or whether it's just overthrowing players and not being able to convert. I mean, Derek Carr is not good, at least right now. And he hasn't been in recent memory. So I'm not on the Lions yet at all. I just think they need to start their EOY push.
End of the year
push. Yeah. Yeah, I just think that I don't know. I'm not. The Thanksgiving game for Detroit left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm just like, this should bounce back here. But at the same time, I'm looking at this again. The Saints missing Marshawn Lattimore and Cam Jordan. That's on defense. Carr's awful in the red zone. Absolutely terrible. But at the same time, I just don't. I'm just not betting this game at all. Hey, Hauser. Thank you. How many are away for me to name my child Cooper?
My man.
1,992.
Thank you so much, Hauser. Appreciate that. Gifting out subs to Maxwell, Andrew, Aaron, and Dubave. Thank you for that generosity. That is incredible. Hey, thank you, Hauser. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Hauser.
Appreciate that love. You are a G. OG.
Also, Evo, earlier, I trust the Jameis-led Saints more than the Carr-led Saints.
Carr's brutal,
Maybe,
but
which is kinda wild.
Scotty, but you have a side on
At
this
least
one
Jameis.
For this game. What do you got?
Yeah, I feel kind of gross betting this because I don't believe in this team at all. I just think the Lions are kind of in a rut right now. I think the Lions, we saw Thanksgiving, but even before Thanksgiving, they had a battle and were lucky to win against the Bears. Squeaked out a 3-point win against the Chargers. Got blown up by the Ravens. They're just not playing at the same level they were. Now, to be fair, they could wake up at any point, but they're just not playing at the same level they were, I think, early on in the year. Kind of in like a little of a mid-season rut. Maybe they bounce out this week, but this one's vital to the Saints if they want to make the playoffs. I don't know, and get embarrassed in the playoffs. But they're still tied for first in the NFC South because that's the division they're in. So at 5-6, they need to win. They at home. I actually have it at 4.5, so I get a little extra there on the Saints, plus 4.5 in a game that, like, I think the Saints defense might be able to take away. Detroit is kind of like Dallas in the sense offensively, especially you kind of know early on, like, are they going to be good offensively or are they going to struggle offensively this game? Like, you either have Jared Goff dominating the team in front of him or he struggles a little bit and throws some picks. I think against the Saints defense, he might struggle. I just, think this game might be closer than it appears. I hate betting the Saints. I don't like the Saints at all. I think Evil's like Scotty loves the Saints secretly. I don't. I don't. I don't like Derek Carr. Don't like anything about the Saints, but I just have a feeling on this one, Chris. Plus 4.5 with the Saints at home in a game they got to get right and maybe can take away what Jared Goff likes to do, and at least keep this like a lower scoring game where you're like, feels like a 21-17, 20-17, something like that game.
You're a braver soul than I to bet on that one. And I wouldn't bet on either side. I would stay away from it altogether. But hey,
Same.
You got to take some of that juju from me not betting on the Steelers for the last 2 weeks. By the way, I have my
I'm so mad I didn't go 2-2 last week. I should have hit on Sunday night. My Chargers should have hit. If Zay Flowers just fall down, which was the right football play, was to fall down instead of score there. You win 100% of the times if you fall down after getting the first down.
Just fall down.
You scoring actually makes it less than that. So it was the wrong football play, and it cost me my bet, Chris.
We both finished 1-3.
You should have followed my bets.
Well, I will never do that.
All right.
Nicola did. She won money.
Here we go, Scotty. Chiefs and Packers in this one. Now, Chiefs are visiting Lambeau, and spread is down to 6. So this one has moved a little bit. We had from
I've only seen 6.5.
I think it's, where did this open? I think it opened at 7.
Ooh, I never saw it at 7.
It opened at 7 and is currently at 6.5. So a lot of people have been betting this down, betting the Packers to get this down to 6, thinking the Packers are going to keep this one close, banking on the fact that the Packers defense and the resurgence of Mr. Love here.
I don't know.
Oh, Milwaukee's back.
Is it a resurgence or just a surgence?
A surgence. But Milwaukee's
Surgeons.
has
requires you to have done something before.
It's changed.
He's back.
He's changed his tune on the Green Bay Packers. What?
Yeah.
Milwaukee wins the next game.
Even earlier in this chat, you're like, I'd love to have Justin Fields on my team.
It looks like some money's coming in on the Packers to cover this. But Scotty, what do you think about your boys in this matchup at Green Bay? What are you going to take away from this one?
The Chiefs have played Jordan Love before a couple years back in when the COVID year when Aaron Rodgers had the good old COVID. I think that game was wildly low scoring. It was like 13-7 or something. The Chiefs won. It was kind of weird. Obviously, the Chiefs got a little healthy on offense. Chris, without being on Stream Sunday, I will fully admit when the Chiefs got down 14-0 to the Raiders on Sunday, for the first time in a long, long time, I'm talking seasons, Chris, I'm like, maybe the Chiefs just suck. Maybe they're not good. Are they just not good?
So when we were on here and we were keeping tabs, or I was keeping tabs on the game, and we were talking through it, especially in the afternoon because we had a friend over, and I saw the Chiefs down 7-0. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Then I saw they were down 14, and I was like, what's happening over there? And then obviously things turned around, but yeah, it was a weird start to the day for the Kansas City Chiefs this past week.
And it's not only that they were down 14-0. The first two offensive series for the Chiefs, I'm like, good Lord. It looks so bad, Chris. Like, the play calling was embarrassing. It's like they didn't trust Mahomes to do anything. Their first play from scrimmage was like a screen that lost like 12 yards somehow. I don't know how on a screenplay you lose 12 yards, but Magic. They did it, Chris.
It's okay. I jinxed them for you.
And it was ugly. And yeah, and then Rex saved the day. He put out in the Discord, like, their last, I don't remember, 8 drives, they've only scored this many points or whatever.
And then all of a sudden,
whatever it was, 150 yards in their last 8 drives. And then in their next 2 after that, they had 150. They scored touchdowns on, I think, 4 of their next 5 drives, actually, in that game. Thank you, Rec. And the offense looked good. Rashee Rice got his first 100-yard game. I mean, he's the wide receiver that has to make it happen for the Chiefs. Like, that, the rookie is really, really good once he gets the ball in his hands. Maybe the best yak I've seen. Like, he's big, but he's also fast. Like, once he gets in his hands, he's tough to bring down. And he runs, what I love about him, which Chiefs wide receivers in the past haven't always done, he runs upfield, Chris. He runs towards the end zone, which is a nice feature, instead of just running sideways. Love me some Rashee Rice. Like where the offense turned it on. And now, I wasn't sure about this game, and I don't have a bet on this game, but Milwaukee says it's going to be a snow globe game. If it's snowing, Chiefs by 1,000,000. Mahomes is a snow guy. Unless he has the flu during the snow game. Well, it wasn't really snowing in Denver. It didn't snow during that game, but he also had the flu. You're not a snow guy when you have the flu, Chris. Chiefs by 1,000,000. Jordan Love doesn't play in the snow. Come on now. This is the best wide receiver. Yeah, that I was wrong. All right.
I didn't
say it was the best. I didn't say it was the best. I said it was the deepest, to be clear. I didn't say it was the best. Obviously, with Tyreek Hill, it was better. I didn't say like we're better off without Tyreek Hill. I just said it was the deepest wide receiver core and the most talent from like 1 to 6 or whatever. Is it coming to fruition? No. I mean, they had 2 wide receivers out last week, and their offense looked better for it. I think part of the problem with the Chiefs is like they just run different wide receivers out there for different plays, and you can't get in a rhythm because everyone's playing like 30% of the time. Just throw your best guy. Throw Rice out there. Somehow Justin Watson's out there a lot. I mean, Tony didn't play this last week, and Hardman's on IR right now, so he's not going to play. Sky Moore still is garbage. MVS is still garbage. I don't know what to say outside like throw the ball to Rashee Rice, throw the ball to Tyreek, give the ball to Isaiah Pacheco.
The other thing,
let Mahomes create.
Can't throw the ball to Tyreek.
Did I say Tyreek?
Yes, you did.
Hey,
I think I meant Kelsey. I think I meant Kelsey. elite weapons. You know, throw the ball to Kelsey, throw the ball to Rice, let Pacheco work, and let Mahomes, create some magic on the side and run a little bit. They're gonna be fine. They should win this game. They're gonna win this game.
Speaking of Tyreek, did you see what happened to his camera guy?
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Great.
The NFL suspended his camera guy.
You're losing. You're losing. You're getting your guys just get fired all over the place. I'm
like Tyreek. I can't keep him out of my mouth. And Tyreek he literally can't have an interview and not mention the Chiefs. This week he's saying how he thinks this Dolphins team is better than the Chiefs team he won a Super Bowl with. And I'm like, are you just dumb? Are you stupid? I mean, I know you're stupid and you're just saying things to say things or like make your team believe or whatever you're trying to do, but it's laughable. Of course this Miami team isn't as good as that Chiefs team. Stop it. Stop it, Tyreek.
I mean, to be fair, would he actually go out there and say that the Chiefs are better than the Dolphins?
Of course not. He said what he's going to say, but like, why does every interview he has, he mentions the Chiefs? He talks about the Chiefs.
They live rent-free in his head, for sure.
It drives him so nuts that they won the Super Bowl last year. It drives him crazy.
Scotty imagining Tyreek on the Chiefs revealing his true feelings.
I would love. Hey, if the Chiefs don't take let's move up in the draft next year. Let's sell all of our stock to get a first round wide receiver that's good. Please.
I mean, we could trade you a receiver potentially. Do you like a George Pickens?
I have a hot take with the Steelers and their wide receivers. Everyone's like, oh, the Steelers are so good at drafting wide receivers. I don't know that it's true. The Steelers are just willing to take head cases.
Well,
at the wide receiver position that other teams aren't willing to do.
They sacrifice.
Every one of your wide receivers are crazy. You take Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Chase Claypool. Like, everyone's crazy.
Oh, no,
if you play wide receiver for the Steelers, you're crazy.
I'm fully on board with you on that. Like I do think we do develop receivers well, but yeah, we do always go for the risky picks.
Well, it's the high risk, high reward with their mental health.
I would do that too, especially if your team's not established yet. I think the Chiefs aren't going to do that. I think they love Pickens' talent, but they didn't think it was a fit in the locker room. And you're coming off like a lot of successful seasons, so you're not going to mess that up with a me.
Yeah, like I'm plugging it now. Either this year, either in 2024 or 2025, we're going to draft a wide receiver. It's going to piss George Pickens off. I'm calling it right now.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, who's more pissed off right now? Because Deontay Johnson doesn't look happy.
No.
People were roasting him off that play where, after he, whether you think he dropped it or not, at one point he dropped it. The touchdown, the next play, you fumble, and he's not. I don't think he. I mean, he didn't give effort on the play, but I don't think he realized there was a fumble and just ignored it either.
Yeah, but even on the run play, you still need to try to throw a block. Pretend you need to pretend you're running around at very least.
Correct.
By the way, Milwaukee's getting some confidence all of a sudden about his boys. Come get some, KC. Welcome to Wisconsin.
I mean, Milwaukee, have you been diagnosed with bipolar? Are you bipolar?
Jesus.
Which is fine if you are. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to know. Every week, all year, you tell me how bad your team is. And now they're going to beat the defending Super Bowl champions.
What's the next game?
Have you guys seen the low light footage of the MVS drops on deep passes thrown to him in his career? I mean,
yeah. Packers fans are saying like after MVS dropped it a couple weeks ago, all the Packers fans are like, yeah, now you know how we felt.
We're used to this.
Chiefs by far.
This is going to be a hell of a game.
Game of the week. This
Hopefully.
is the game of the week, and this
Although it
one
won't be close.
This one, Scotty. Unfortunately for us, we agree in this. That's the only thing holding me back on really feeling great about the San Francisco 49ers. But the San Francisco 49ers going into Philadelphia here. San Francisco -3 on the line, and actually it's dropped to -2.5, which I ended up picking up as well. So we're both in at San Francisco as best bets of the week, -2.5, and total set to 46.5. And there's just I feel like with this game, like for me, this is kind of mainly a thing of the San Francisco 49ers are finally healthy, and the Philadelphia Eagles are kind of banged up. I just think that from this standpoint, it's hard for me to go against a team that's on paper as good as they are, and at this very juncture, playing the best football, based off of just the fact that they're healthy and they got everyone back. And also, they had 10 days off for this game to prepare.
Yeah, they played Thursday.
So they've had extra time to play. I think there's a little bit here with just, I don't know. I think you're gonna wake up for this game. There's playoff. You go back to those playoff. You get those revenge games, right? The revenge game with the Chiefs and the Eagles was last week, right? And then you had the Eagles really show up and play like it was that revenge game.
No, the Chiefs were better.
But the Eagles just wanted that game very badly based off of how they ended last season. And I think that there could be a similar situation here. There's just a lot to like about San Francisco on this end. Eagles are scheduled to play the Dallas Cowboys in the following week, which I think that's a look ahead as well, potentially. I mean, this is a gauntlet for the Eagles here. But that division game with the Dallas Cowboys is going to be pretty important. So this spot, just for me, it just screams San Francisco. I think they're the side. A lot of people, from what I've listened to, are kind of on the Eagles here. I think it's going to be. I think this is the point to take the 49ers.
I don't know why anyone would be on the Eagles. The Eagles are right now, they're not fraudulent, but at 10-1, they're fraudulent. I mean, 7 of their 10 wins were by a score or less. I'm still trying to figure out how the one quarterback that's beat the Eagles this year is who, Chris? Do you know?
I know who it is.
We'll say that one more time. The question?
The one quarterback that's beat the Eagles this year.
The Eagles lost. Who did they lose to? Hold on. They
think about. Don't look it up. Just think about it.
They lost to the Jets, didn't they?
They sure did.
And who is the quarterback of the Jets?
Was it Zach at that point? Obviously.
Zach Wilson is the only quarterback to defeat the Eagles.
I couldn't remember if Zach was. Yeah, they were going back and forth between a couple of quarterbacks there.
Keep close. The team that beat us is a fraud. They're a 10-1 fraud. They're not. This is not. The Eagles are not playing to the level they were last year. Not at this point. Maybe they can turn that around. But at 10-1, they're.
Yeah, it's like they keep.
Yes, keep close. They beat us, but they
food.
also lost by 100 yards in that game to us. Like, we outgained them by 100. There were circumstances. Things happened, but they won the game. They won against the Chiefs. Yes. Keep close is so adamant that the Broncos might be good, and I'm just gonna be so sad when his heart's broken later on in the year, or maybe this week. I don't know. Whenever it happens, because it will happen.
The Broncos might be the 7th seed. They might play the Chiefs in the first round.
Well, the Chiefs should have the 1 seed, so hopefully not, because we just have the bye. But and the Chiefs with a win this weekend would move up to the 1. But back to this game. I mean, on paper, this is 2 of the top 3 teams, certainly, and maybe the top 2. NFC Championship game last year. Obviously, we didn't get the game we wanted in that one with Brock Purdy going out early. The Niners on the road, 2.5 to 3 point favorites, might seem shocking to some. I think the Niners win this by more than 1 score. I think it's 10 plus. I really do. And it could get ugly. I think this Eagles team's a little spent. They had the Cowboys, then they did have a bye, but then they had Chiefs. They played overtime in the rain last week against the Bills, and
Yeah.
somehow squeaked that one out, needing a 59-yarder to take it to overtime in the rain. And then, like you said, they're at Dallas next week, and probably the most important game they have left. Not probably the most important game they have left on the schedule. And the Niners are just playing much better football right now, I think, than Philly is. I don't think Jalen Hurts is fully healthy. I think Lane Johnson's beat up. I think they're beat up a little bit in Philly. When the Niners had that 3-game losing streak, they were beat up, but now they're healthy, as you talked about. I think Niners win this one going well.
Yeah, I hope so. I think so. Because that's going to be our best bet of the week, tied up here. I don't even really know if we're going to have a chance in this one, but we'll see. Let's take a look at our best bets. And here we go.
Everyone bet the Eagles.
Yeah, so Scotty and I have not been very profitable when we pick the same. We're back to where we were.
Not profitable at all.
Last season, we were crushing when we had the same picks. This season, we're back on track with, struggling a little bit. That changes this week. But there's, Scotty, a couple games on your side that we didn't cover. If you could recap yours and all the ones that we have not gone into, we'll get you all the insights you guys need for our best bets.
Yeah, I mean, I teased. We didn't talk about with the Dallas teaser at -2.5. I teased up the Titans. I mentioned that. I don't know. Division game at home for Tennessee against a Colts team that's without Jonathan Taylor now. Jonathan Taylor's out at least 2 weeks, maybe longer, with some sort of thumb. I think it's thumb.
Fractured thumb or something.
Something on his hand. Yeah. So that's a big loss for the Colts. A game that I think should be close. Tease up Tennessee in a division matchup that you're familiar with, up to +8 at home. And listen, I don't love some of my picks. I hate betting Carolina +5.5. But I have a principle. When a team loses, when a coach gets fired, that team the next week inevitably just plays better. It doesn't even matter whether you like the coach that was fired or not. You might hate him, you might like him. Inevitably, you play a little harder. You're playing for your new coach. You're playing for your job moving forward. You don't have that relationship, so you're going to play harder. Carolina, off the firing of Frank Reich this week, has a matchup against a team that's not great, but they're on the road at Tampa. Tampa's not putting up a ton of points usually. I mean, Baker. I just feel like this is the week. It's basically on principle. It's nothing about Carolina. It's the principle of, historically, if you bet on a team that loses their coach or maybe even an offensive coordinator, talking about the Steelers last week, I think they got a lift playing a little harder offensively.
Can confirm.
With Canada moving on. And we saw that with the Raiders early on this year. They fire McDaniels, and Antonio Pierce for a couple weeks has the momentum, and they're playing hard and they win games. That's why I'm on Carolina. That's probably the first and last time I'll be on Carolina all year. But if there's a week to take Carolina, I think this is the week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The thing with Carolina for me that I would lean Carolina's side. But the problem is like the talent isn't getting much better on that team. Like I feel like and it does. I guess it doesn't really matter. You play for the next.
What talent mid-season gets better, Chris?
Well, especially when you're a team as bad as Carolina, it's not much.
They don't have a lot of talent. Their offensive line is bad.
It's all
their quarterbacks still figuring shit out. They don't really have weapons at wide receiver. Their defense is mid.
They're still relying on old man Adam Thielen.
Yeah,
Adam Thielen's your number one option. I actually think people are going to be really wrong on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's going to be way better than people expect.
I think it's one of those things where, you know, when you get expectations of something and you're just like, someone tells you a movie is really good. It's like the best movie you've ever seen. Go check out this movie. You have to see it tomorrow. And then you go see it and it was like average because it was hyped up so much. I think it's the opposite for Bryce Young. I think he's getting shit on so much that
keep close. Bryce Young is the worst player in the NFL. Let me tell you something real quick. Keep close. If the Carolina Panthers called the Denver Broncos today and offered Bryce Young for Russell Wilson, the Broncos would do it in a second. So shut your mouth.
Can we get rid of that?
You're out of here. Keep Close's confidence in the Broncos is so irrational right now.
Can we erase?
So irrational.
Or if we're able to erase all of the money issues with that would be fantastic. No, so
forget. Let's say the financial numbers were the same. Denver would still do it in a second.
Probably. I mean, there's more.
Remove the financial.
Yeah.
There's no upside with Russ. None.
I think you're just getting baited. That's all.
I know. Again, I'm not even mentioning the Broncos right now, but I know what you've said in the past. You're not rent free. You've won one game of your last 17 against the Chiefs. It's not. There's no rent free here. There's no rent free.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
This is.
So, also, we do have an update from a question from last stream.
Sure.
In the Eliminator Challenge, we still had Football Wife try to make a decision to see if she won or lost.
Oh, we'll get to that here in a second.
And her.
I don't understand the question.
Well, Rex, let's get to that.
No.
Let's get to that here in a second. We'll get to that after I go through my best bets, and then we'll announce that whole Survivor thing. All right, so my best bets of the week, I teased Tennessee along with you, Scotty. I think this is just a spot where, Tennessee at home, I think they're going to be in a good spot where they're just going to play better. They keep things close, if not win these close games by a little bit more. QB Will Levis, 2-0 straight up at home, 0-3 on the road. For all the other reasons you said as well, their home record, they're 4-0 against the spread. There's a lot of things that I like about the Tennessee Titans in this one. Pairing them with Jacksonville Jaguars, who have Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense looks abysmal. They have a quarterback that shouldn't be playing, but given the circumstances he is, they give Pittsburgh their first 400-yard game in over 3 years. Trevor Lawrence has looked dialed in since that Week 10 loss against the 49ers. I don't think he's going to have too big of an issue with the Cincinnati defense. Jacksonville's going to put up a big number here. I tease them down just to be safe, but I like Jacksonville on the other end of that. And then Carolina, Tampa Bay, you were talking about that game as well. If Carolina defensively at home, which I think they play better at home than on the road,
it's
in
Tampa?
Is it in Tampa? Oh shit. Well, either way, I think Carolina has a boost up with firing their coach. I think their defense plays a little better anyway. This over-under actually dropped. It's 36.5 right now, so I'm on the better end of this. And I think Tampa Bay's offense, I don't know. I don't think either of these teams offensively are going to be super spectacular. I'm leaning under 37.5 in this one. So there you go. Our best bets of the week. We're going to nail them. We're going to hit. Even though we agree on Tennessee and San Francisco, Scotty, we're going to hit them.
I'm going 0-4 this week, just to reverse the juju. I'm going to say I'm going 0-4.
Yeah, maybe I should do that too. Maybe just there's hope for the worst, so anything else is better.
Combined, Chris. 0-8 combined.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shit week.
So with the Eliminator Challenge, of course, Milwaukee's was eliminated with his pick of the Lions, which only left Football Wife, who had the Monday night game.
Wait. Milwaukee's was eliminated because he was on the Lions?
Yes.
Against his Packers, who he's now hyping to beat the Chiefs this week. Get out of here, Milwaukee's.
And with that,
so
Football Wife, to determine if she was a low winner, she picked The Minnesota Vikings. So for the second straight year, Milwaukee's tied for first place in the Eliminator Challenge.
Unbelievable.
He and
So
Football Wife are tied for first.
Wait,
so
was the question whether Football Wife should win because her game was
No,
later
no,
in the week?
if she won alone or not. Like if she won, if she picked the Bears, then she wins outright.
wait, but she didn't. So it's a
Yeah.
tie.
So, it is a tie between Milwaukee's and Football Wife
So we have
for the
technically
Eliminator Challenge.
2 winners, unless we want to do something
Milwaukee.
creative with, if we want to do like
Milwaukee's back to back. We could have them like continue on and duke it out. I've always said, Chris, I've said on this stream, like to win a survivor pool, you have to be stupid. So
Are you
Milwaukee
calling
being
Football Wife
back-to-back-
stupid?
No, Milwaukee's back to back. And by stupid, like a little bit crazy, a little bit out there, a little like off kilter picks, maybe a little emotional at times. Milwaukee is set up for survivor pools. He might be the GOAT of survivor pools.
you're the GOAT, Milwaukee. You're the greatest, man. You got it.
But I think he should lose based off of he lost picking against his team. That should be the tiebreaker.
That should be the tiebreaker. Because
He lost picking against his own team
I was
on Thanksgiving.